For most of us as gamers growing up, we're all massive fans of the original Sonic 1 game, as for many of us it presents some of the greatest memories we've ever had in video games in general. So it's great to see, even years later, fans getting together and creating their own versions of what they would consider as the definitive Sonic 1 experience from the Mega Drive era, where they're creating their own game hacks, even re-envisionings of the particular game, with all of the levels, with new sound effects, new music tracks, even completely redesigned levels that take a lot of inspiration from the iconic game's original levels, but just add so much more creativity, challenge, exploration and everything in between. And this one here, that has a Halloween aesthetic based on the Sonic 1 universe, is very, very cool, as what it tries to do is it tries to replicate all of the original 6 zones of Sonic 1, but gives it a Halloween themed format where you have the likes of pumpkins, scarecrows, all of the enemy sprites have all been rejigged to have like bats or skeletons and other kind of like horrific monsters or beings to suit with the Halloween style. Even the levels themselves are much more darker and atmospheric, and while taking certain elements of the original level's design, just adds more into it with more traps and dangers that lie in wait, making the game equally as difficult as that of its original counterpart. But really what it does is it just presents another really cool way to play these older classic games, as there's so many of these game hacks out there, and I have covered quite a few of them already on the channel in the previous video, so I'll leave links to a playlist below in the description, as I definitely think they're worth checking out because the Mega Drive really does have some very, very cool games on its system. So when you do see re-envisionings of these classic games come to life, using the same graphics engine, all of the typical formats from the combat, the controls, but just adds a new coat of paint onto it, it's very, very cool indeed. While on the surface it may not feel like anything new, but sometimes you don't need to have anything new per se, just stick with what works, but just make something unique out of it, which this particular game hack manages to do. It's very, very cool, very dramatic, very over the top, really suits the theme and aesthetic it's going for, and the fact is that it replicates the original levels from the first game, but adds different dynamics to it, with even more challenging gameplay and traps, which it is very, very tough because there's traps. If you're familiar with the original game, you'd kind of know the layouts of all the levels, so you kind of remember where everything is, and in many cases you would think that going into this in different areas you'd be like, oh, I remember this before, but then there's another trap or another spike crusher or something that appears out of nowhere that you wouldn't expect, and you're dead and you lose a load of lives before you even know what's going on. So you have to have your wits about you and just always be mindful of your surroundings. It's not a simple case of just running and jumping everywhere like you could have done with the original game when you got familiar with it. You really do have to take your time with this. Even the special stages have a new coat of paint pretty much, where you have to get, in many cases like the Chaos Emeralds, but they have their own version of them, which I think is very, very cool and is another nice touch. It just adds more ways to play these classic games, which is just really, really cool. So I would love to know your thoughts of this Sonic game hack, and what did you think of it? Have you played it at all, or did you even know anything about it, as it is very, very cool. So be sure to share it down in the comments below, and if you would like to see more videos of a lot more of these game hacks that did release on the Mega Drive and other Sega consoles, you can check out this next video.